All right, good evening. Halloween Horror Nights, night 6 for us. We're going to come inside, we're going to get something to eat, maybe get a sweet treat. And sole goal tonight is to do kind of our rankings of the 10 houses. We got to do all 10 houses, so we're going to do kind of a ranking um, system, or we kind of got our minds
Talk through it, yeah.
Yep. So I know I wrote mine down. I don't know if you wrote yours down. You might have to write yours down. Um, but so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a quick bite. Not gonna stay out late. Two of us have to work.
Yeah.
These two have to work tomorrow, but it's all good, and we'll see you all there. Good evening. How y'all doing? So, hope the audio's good. I got the fuzzy mouse on it, so that should be good. Night 6 for us. Kind of get.
Wow. No wonder why I'm tired. Sorry.
So night 6 for us. Kind of got a later start. Amy's been doing stuff all day. I had work, so I just got here not too long ago. So it is about 7:30. I looked at wait times as I was walking up here. We're behind Richter's. Wait times didn't look too bad. Obviously, the big houses like Fallout, Freddy's had 100. Fallout was 60. Jason's 70. Everything else was like 45 to 60. So it did not appear too bad. So still a lot of people coming in off City Walk. But so what we're going to accomplish tonight? I'm hungry. We're going to eat something. Not sure exactly what. I think we might try Louis, the 5 nights pop-up restaurant in Louis. Let's see what that looks like. But main objective tonight is to now that we've done all 10 houses, to give our subjective view of like what we think about the houses, like if we were going to rank them 1 through 10. Now, caveat: the rankings all depend upon your familiarity with the IP or the subject, the run through, like, do you miss the scares, or is it like out of sequence for you, but everyone else is getting it around you? Also, I think the wait times affect our mood going into houses. It can.
Yeah.
Like
Coming out of
or the
it.
heat. You're mad because you had to wait, or if you're not in the express line and they're letting a lot of express go. But I think overall they've been doing a pretty good job of keeping things going for everyone. So I'm not complaining there. I mean, we had a couple long waits, but I remember last year we got into a low wait house, like it was said 30 minutes, and it was like an hour and a half. So I think we were bummed about that. But that being said, I don't know. Is there anything else that affects ratings?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're subjective. So like certain IPs you're gonna gravitate towards, or some people just don't like IP. They like all the original houses. And I think so far, I would have to say this lineup of 10 houses is really good.
Yeah.
Um, and I think even the ones that I probably ranked at the bottom, if I get a better run through, it might be higher. So a couple are kind of interchangeable, but all right. So we're gonna go bottom. So like right now our least ranking to the top. So I'll let you go first on this one. And I don't know if I'm gonna put fancy word edits in the video. I'm still learning, but
my bottom ranking housen is probably gonna surprise you. I put the Galkin.
Okay.
Galkin at my bottom. I honestly think that, I mean, I kind of had an idea walking in. It was like Creatures of the North or something like that it was going to be the cold house. And I started thinking about houses in the past that had like a cold house. But it seemed more to me like just a repeat of something that had been at previous years. Didn't have as much originality to it, and I don't know necessarily that like the scares I got or anything like that impacted it, but it's the one that doesn't stand out in my mind, along with maybe some of the other ones at the bottom. It doesn't stand out as much.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. No, I mean I see that. Mine was Dolls Let's Play Dead or Play Dead. Actually, I think I said I was anticipating that house a lot from a just because of the whole Toy Story thing and Chucky and just, I mean, not that there was Chucky in it, but just like your dolls wreaking or your toys wreaking havoc. It felt like, and again, that was one of the first couple houses we went into.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the second house we went into. So,
yeah, I think it was. It was the second night, the first house on the second night.
yeah. So we were like, it just didn't feel like it was as complete in the house. I think there was a lot of like, I mean, I guess that's what they were going through. So I'm not going to criticize creative on that, but it just felt like, and maybe that's the vibe they were going for. It was just less, and plus, I don't think I got really any of the scares. There were some cool creature effects. But I didn't get any.
Like the doll missing its head that was walking around that you knew was somebody in there, but yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't catch the. I just didn't get it. So
Okay.
that was mine. So I'll go to the next one. The next one. I don't have the full name. Graves of the
Grave
Flesh.
of Flesh.
Grave of Flesh is my 9.
That's my 9 too.
Okay. All right. Well, that's weird. All right. So
It's
not weird.
Well,
It's not weird. It's just I just didn't get into, and we didn't really read the storylines of each house going in. You know, the backstory or the setting, because I kind of like I want to go in and just. I mean, granted, it's a paragraph, so it's not like it's a dissertation, but I just didn't feel connected to it. It was like, okay, you're in a grave and it's the underworld and you're being scared.
Yeah.
You're already dead and now you're scared again.
And I think that one was the one that we jumped right back into that line after doing Terrifier. So we had literally just done Terrifier and then got into that queue. But I had it at 9. It was kind of unmemorable like Galkin, but for me, the reason why I enjoyed that house was that there was a couple with a young girl in front of us, and man, they were scaring her. She got all scared, so I was laughing more watching her and thinking it's hilarious. But that's what in the past 2 years, every time I would get scared, that Brian was probably laughing at me.
One of these 10 houses, I can't remember exactly which house, but I was laughing because you were getting it. And this
so that was kind of fun for me, and I'm sure like I go through again and I would have almost the same, because I would be getting scared. I might look at it differently, but for me that house wasn't necessarily memorable and it scares, but more I remember this poor young lady just getting scared the entire time.
Yeah, and just bear in mind, I mean, we're going to go through them again, and we might get a better scale run through. I mean, they're not going to change the theming and the kind of the concept, but I hope to get a couple good scares. You know.
So we're going to do like a redemption thing after?
Maybe. Not bad. We can think about that. All right, I'll let you go for your number 7. Or no, your 8.
Oh, my 8. My number 8, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
That one didn't. I think I was anticipating it so much. Also, one of our children like really loves that IP, so I was really kind of looking forward to it. But it reminded me of, like, I was just kind of walking through the story, and the animatronics were fabulous. I don't know that it was necessarily like a horror house. Like, I didn't see it as being something that scared me, and maybe it was because in my mind I'm looking at animatronics and thinking that they're more cute. And, yeah, I remember being a kid.
And you haven't seen the
Chuck E.
movie.
Cheese.
And you haven't seen the movie.
So maybe it
Right.
might. Not really.
No.
Not really interested in watching a horror movie. I got scared enough in junior high, but for me that was. I can see if I maybe had seen the movie, I might view it a little differently, or if the animatronics had moved in a way that caught me off guard. I could see that being, but I think that was what they were relying on in the scares.
I mean, some of them move forward or sideways. It's just, I think they were limited into how far they could move because, space. But okay, so my 8, and again, we're not saying these houses are bad. No, I think even Freddy's is cool to go through. I have it elsewhere.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so I think it's just not scary, and if you're not really connected, so we'll get to that in a sec. But my 8 is Fallout. For some of the same reasons. I think the house is stunning. They had, several. They tried to recreate the vault, not giving away, but the vault in one of the towns and in the wasteland, and so they did a good job of like you were in it, so to speak, but I wouldn't say it was scary or gory behind the jump scares, because I don't even think even the TV series wasn't scary,
No.
you know,
No.
or wasn't gory. I mean, there was blood and guts, but I don't think it was like scary. So, now is it a great themed house? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But basing it on what comes later that we have gone through, and Fallout was one of the last ones we went to. So, um, and it, and I don't know,
It's been the last.
it might have been, yeah,
I'm trying to think. It might have been the last
yeah, it might
house
have been.
we went through.
So, again, not saying it's bad. It's just I just think it was.
No, Light 6 was last
Yeah.
one. And
So
Fallout
yeah.
was
So
those were last
yeah. So
two.
Fallout was good. It's just, and maybe, and I don't think they had as many spots for jump scares. Um, there were a few, like, they weren't scares, but there was either water being sprayed at you from a animal, or some air, like compressed air, you know, coming through. So those are little scares, but not too bad.
So my number 7 is actually Fallout, and the reason why I have Fallout before Five Nights, I would honestly say, is because I watched Fallout. So to me, going through that story, I don't think it was. I think it was exactly the same as Five Nights. You're just really walking through the story, and then the characters coming out are from the story. It reminded me of Stranger Things when you're walking through the Stranger Things house. You were literally walking through the story from like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and it crescendoed at the end to how the finale of that season 4 was. So we saw that in Fallout, but I think I had it. It wasn't necessarily a horror house for me, but I had it at 7 only because I had it at both Five Nights at Freddy's because I had seen the show. I enjoyed it more when the characters kind of popped out. I understood what was going on. It was part of the story. Did it kind of startle me when they popped out? Yes, it did. But I
Yeah.
had that at number 7 for me.
Okay, so that was 7. My 7 is Five Nights. So we just flipped them. So my 7 was Five Nights. Again, the animatronics were, I mean, awesome. I mean, it's, you know, I think Jim Henson Productions, I think it was Jim Henson had a hand in it. And then obviously Universal Creative along with the studios
Right.
from Five Nights. But really cool. I liked it. Just not scary. And I'm not saying that I need to have a scary haunted house because one, the genre, like Amy was saying, the genre is not really my genre, so to speak. I've watched a lot of thrillers. I watched probably the first, the first couple of movies of every series, Halloween, you know, and all that stuff. I haven't really gotten into a lot of the later iterations, you know, like the Insidious and Conjuring and, you know, all those. Not that I don't dislike them, you know, but yeah, I mean, old school Omen, you know, and all that stuff, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, Poltergeist and, you know, Hellraiser, you know, but anyhow, all right. So then my number, I guess that's number 6 is Gawkin. I really liked Gawkin. I did like the aesthetic, you know, kind of the, it getting out of that. My initial thought, it reminded me a little bit of Choose Thy Fate,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that was the Wizard one. But then there's something else that reminded me of too. And I
And
can't.
it was cold in there too, and part of it was.
Yeah, so Gawkin was cool. I liked the effects. I just, it was one of the first 3 or 4 houses we saw, so I just liked it. So,
So my number 6 is actually Dolls Let's Play Dead. So my bottom 5 are exactly the same as your bottom 5, in a little tiny different order. But I got good scares in that one, and so the dolls did kind of creep me out a little bit, particularly halfway through the house when this one over here makes a comment about it Sid's like nightmare, or that Sid had put it together. And then it kind of clicked for me a little bit more. So as I'm going through the house and I'm looking at these dolls and they've got like things through their head, like someone has taken these poor dolls and like
yeah.
just, you know, it, and then people are jumping out from behind the doll and things happening
And
like
I'm
that.
sure Creative has some employee assistance programs for, you know, psychological services,
Yeah.
you know, for their staff. So, but yeah, so all right, so that's
Think
our
about that. It's
yeah, yeah. All right, so that's our
bottom 5 are
5.
exact same, which means
Yeah.
our top 5 are the same 5 houses. It'll be interesting to see what
Yeah,
order.
and I did my list today at work, and you just did yours.
I did. They were sitting here thinking about it, but then
Yeah.
I actually typed
Yeah,
it
just
up because
that's yeah.
you were fancy over there with yours typed up, so I did mine.
All right, you want to go for your number 5? Or?
I'll do number 5, and actually, right now, I think when I'm thinking about the house, I'm thinking about the fact that I got scared in them. So I'm actually going to flip flop my 5 and 4. I'm going to put 5 at El Artista. it was that house stuns me when I think about the sets, and it felt like a tied, unified story. I think because that was the very first house we went into, and kind of what Brian said, we didn't exactly have the best waiting experience. We got in a queue and they said 40 minutes, and there was definitely a good 20-minute span of time where we didn't move at all. It ended up being like 80, 85-minute wait. So it kind of the first house, it was a little bit of a bummer waiting to go in. But I know when I walked through the house that I enjoyed it. But I don't know that I necessarily got. I would like to do a second run of it. That's definitely because it was the very first house we went through. I would love to have. That's probably the first one I'm going to go back into when we start going into houses the second time. Um, but that, if I think about my top five, it's definitely my top five, but it would be my number five.
All right, my number 5 is Wyatt Six. Mainly because I didn't have low expectations, or I had no expectations for this IP. I'm not a wrestling. I'm not. It's just not my thing. I'm not against those that love it as a fan, or the fandom. I mean, I remember watching cartoons when I was a kid. Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper and Junkyard Dog and all those cartoons. I just remember the cartoons. Saturday morning cartoons were a thing. Um, but it just wasn't one that I was okay. WWE, wrestling. I don't follow the characters, but so I went in there like, okay, I had fun in that house. It was a fun house, um, and I don't think you have to know wrestling to be in it. And there were plenty of scares. Not spoiling it, but sometimes the best scares are the ones where you get scared and then you're immediately scared right after that. Within milliseconds or another second, you got a couple times in that house. I think that's the one I was laughing at a lot. And I don't think I got all the scares, and again, it depends on how many actors or the team members are in there,
Yeah.
but the scare actors. But that's my number 5.
Okay, you do number 4.
Hey, you want to do number 4?
You go. We both did 5. Now you do 4.
Oh, you did 5?
Yeah, I did 5. My number 5 was El Artista.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry. All right. My number 4 is Hatchets and Chains. That was one of the ones we went into the middle. That was just a cool house. I think it. I mean, it was well. The creative theme in it was really good. I mean, it's demon bounty hunters, so I mean, I'm sure there's movies that I know that are similar to that. R.I.P.D. I think was one with might have been Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, so demon bounty hunters, and I think Supernatural maybe. Kids or one of our daughters used to watch Supernatural. But I just loved it, and to the point where they're bounty hunters. So they're like Old West kind of bounty hunters. There's bullet holes in the corridors that are smoking, and with like light effects that it was hot, and that was just cool. And
you're
the
hearing
scares were
like
good.
the sounds, like the popping sounds, like there's gunshots going on. But obviously, it's not. But like you're really immersed.
Yeah, so I think it was a neat house. We got some good scares. Again, not saying that these houses, like any of them, are bad. It's just this one was just number 4.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my number 4 is Hatchets and Chains also. And then one scare that stands out in that house is one of the scare actors was almost like following me as I was walking. He came out and then he kept walking along with me, and it like freaked me out. But to the point where I like really, but I kind of liked it. Like it was something different. Like usually they pop out at you and then they pop back, and they're kind of waiting for the next 2-3 people to go by before they do it again. But this one was like it was. I don't know. This was also the one where I came out. I think the poor guy in front of me was listening to me scream my head off because I was getting some really good scares in that house. I absolutely loved it. And there's reasons why the other 3 are kind of ranked higher for me, but this one was definitely the top original house that Universal Creative did this year. Awesome job. It was the storyline. The best part too was the scare actor started on the outside of the house, and that was really neat because you kind of saw it as you're walking up, and that character is kind of drawing people in, and it was just really, it got you excited. So it didn't even think about the fact that I had been waiting in the line for like an hour I was anticipating it. But that part was really neat. It was something a little different, and so definitely made that house stand out for me.
All right, your number 3.
My number 3 is Wyatt Six. So that really I came out of that house, and at one point I really thought, I was like, that might be my top house. The more I thought about it, 2 others really kind of stand out, which is probably obvious which they are right now. But I agree with Ryan that you don't necessarily have to be a wrestling fan. I don't think there was anything wrestling about it. It almost kind of felt like they were these characters that
Invaded
we've seen.
a set or
Yeah, but
like
throughout horror nights, like when you're waiting in queues, they're almost playing like these little commercials or clips that are advertising horror nights. And one of the clips was to White Six, and just kind of listening to it and stuff. But it kind of got me anticipating, like, what's this house even going to be about? Because it was a little strange the way this commercial was kind of going on. And then when I'm walking in, there were so many scare actors in this house. And they were very much, they all looked the same. Like there's maybe 5 or 6 of these characters. They're all the same, but they kept coming out at you. And I don't know, there was just something about where they were positioned or what they were doing. I wasn't really walking through a story. I was just kind of trying to get myself through this house and where these characters kind of kept coming from. So it had me really thinking about, as I was moving through the house, like what was going on. And it was like a true scary house, but I didn't understand what I was walking into. So that part of it puts it at the top for me, that I got scared, but that it was kind of like I didn't really understand it, so it scared me even more, kind of.
All right, we're gonna speed it up just a little bit because it's starting to lose light, but no, that's fine. Not their fault. No, it's getting dark, and it's because it's cloudy. But all right, my number 3.
How's that? Oh,
Maybe that one. Nah, no light. All right, mine was El Artista. I really, again, first house, I liked it. I think I caught some good scares. I think the story, it's like, just because you had some actors in there that were not part of the scare, like they were like non-dead or non-scare actors. They were like adding the theming to it, so it was really cool. And again, really good set design. But yeah, so that's my number 3. All right, my number 2, and I think so both of our top 2 are the same, or at least they're going to be the same, maybe not the same order. But my number 2 is Terrifier. I didn't. I mean, I expected to be like, because you heard, I expected to be like grossed out or like, and it definitely they leveled up the gore. This was the goriest house. There's even a scene or a section of it where it smells foul, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it smelled foul.
yeah.
And then and it's just the wet side. I mean, you hit or miss. I mean, you hear people say they got soaking wet. We got wet, but not like going down Popeyes or Rip Ride or Ripsaw Falls. So it's not, you're not getting soaked. So that was my number 2, and I just think the guts and then the scare, I think it creeped it out a factor. So like when you saw the guts, you're already kind of the gore, not guts, but like the gore, you were already kind of like, oh man, and then you get scared on top of that. So that was just cool.
So I think we'll kind of go a little bit out of order. I had Terrifier actually as my number 1. That was my number 1 house, and the reason for that was because like it really shocked me and got me. I was definitely scared with it. It was very like gory, and what I think about what a horror house should be like.
Yep.
It's really trying to scare me. There were things in there that just kind of was like, why are you doing that? But then going in, and it wasn't necessarily just that it was a wet path, it was a blood bath. That still stands out at me. But spoiler, so like skip ahead if you don't know. But the water's coming from up top, and you're not it's not like in a big room. You're like in this little thing that you're trying to like move your way through, and it's just dripping on you. And it's the idea that it puts in your mind, not that it's wet, but the last thing you see when you walk in is bloodbath. And so that's the part that kind of gets in your mind. But this clown is creepy, and he is like freaky looking, and he definitely scared me out of my, he got the bejesus scared out of me, that's for sure. So we know what his number 1 is. I had Jason at number 2, and a lot of it was Terrifier just really rocked me. Like it was number 1, but Jason House also rocked. Just the music on the outside, if you've ever seen, and those were one of the movies, that and Nightmare on Elm Street, that all the kids from our junior high, we would gather up and we would watch horror movies on the weekends. Not that we were weird, but that's just what we did in junior high in the 80s. And but the sound, like that music, it just like it started getting my heart racing before I even walked into the house. And then and Brian will probably go into this a little more too. There's like almost two parts to the house. So I kind of come out of, we're trying to get a little more light. You come out and you go into the second part, and it's just Jason after Jason after Jason after Jason. And it was like, oh my, ooh, yeah, Jason. But that, I mean, 1 and 2, I have a feeling it would be interchangeable. If we were to go into both houses tonight, I might kind of put Jason 1, Terrifier 2. They are definitely going to go back and forth for me. But those two, I think, just they were really good houses.
So
there's got to be a reason why it's your number 1.
So my number 1, I think 1, it was the sheer volume of scare actors. Now, granted, they were supposed to be the Jasons of every iteration of his movie universe. I couldn't tell you if who was who because they all had a mask, and it just felt like. And I'll say this: the set design was not as ornate or as dramatic as some of the other houses, like Five Nights or Fallout or El Artista. It was a very simple setup. Now, maybe that's just because I was getting scared, or I was hearing Amy getting scared, or people behind us, and so you are kind of rushing through these houses a little bit. But the sheer volume and the room and the music and the rooms weren't as like your path wasn't as wide in some areas, so you were definitely restricted. I felt restricted. Maybe that was just the color palette of the house wasn't as bright. It was definitely darker. So maybe that was part of it. But
and when it's narrow, you know that the scare is going to be even that much closer to you. So it's like you're kind of moving through and thinking to yourself, going, I know he's going to jump out. He's going to jump out, and they're literally going to be right at your face. And so that kind of has a little bit more of that enclosed kind of feeling, kind of freaks you out a little bit more.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, great house, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I saw the first 3 or 4 Jasons, but I didn't really, or Friday the 13th, sorry. Friday the 13th movies. But yeah, the universe, so did not watch all of them. Seen enough clips online to kind of know what the gist of those movies were. But I will say it was a fun house. And again, timing or a scare here or scare there, some of these might interchange or flip flop or not to say it again, not to say that any of these are bad houses, because we're all gonna have different purposes.
Well, and it'd be fun. We have a family member who's going to be coming down the next couple of weeks, and we'll have an opportunity to go multiple times as well. So it'll be interesting to see from that person's perspective what they think, and then also for us to be able
and what
to
does it change? You know, I mean, so does it change? We'll see. So, but
we've lost the light.
Yeah, we're losing light. So we will see you guys in a little bit. We're gonna go get something. We'll have light in Louis, but it's a little cloudy and it's 8 o'clock. So yeah, light is gone. Again, our rankings. Again, they're ours. I mean, again, we're hearing people and we're seeing things online. Oh my God, this is the best house. Absolutely, your rankings are correct because they're your rankings, and so we know that. And again, and this is coming from non-horror, like that's not our wheelhouse, so to speak. So, but having fun. So this has been 28 minutes. If you've lasted this long, like and subscribe. But I don't know if this will be a standalone video. It might. We'll see. Adios. Okie dokie. Alright, it's a little loud in Louis, but we got the carrot cake from the booth out there. I think it's a white 6 booth. Apparently it's like one of the super bits. It's huge too. So there's a plastic spoon. It's pretty big. And then we got the refill version of the light up light up Firefly or light the fire moonshine and carrot cake. Alright, I got the why not make both pizza and spaghetti and meatballs from Five Nights at Freddy's. It was like 12 something with my annual pass holder discount. It's a big slice of pizza. It's a quarter of pizza. So might be feeling it later. We'll see. All right, real quick. So we didn't do a review of the food inside Louis or Freddy's because the tables the tables were in high demand. Sorry, not in the frame. Tables were in high demand, so we wanted to respect everyone so they get their table. Pizza it is what it was. It was spaghetti and meatballs. Meatballs were good. I like the meatballs. It was spaghetti and meatballs on a very like pastry-like dough.
Yeah.
Almost like breadsticks, kind of like. But it was good. And then we got the carrot cake from
Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, Fireflies, and I got light the Firefly moonshine drink, and that was okay. Not a huge moonshine.
Carrot cake was good.
Carrot cake was really good. And it's worth it because like with pass holder, I think it was like it's like $6-7 with pass holder discount, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Good value. So we did our rankings. We'll probably put that as a separate video or even combine it, but we might even do it in 2 different videos just to see how it plays. But that was it. We're gonna wrap it up tonight because we got an early morning in the morning. So, but we'll see you all on the next video. Hope you all had the best day since yesterday.